So you're from Greece.
Yes.
Like you were born in Greece.
No, so I was born here, and then when I was 2, we moved back to Greece. Like my parents are Greeks; they lived in Greece. They came here. They lived here for a few years, and then when my mom had me, they wanted to move back to Greece. They wanted more like simple life in the village, stuff like that. So I grew up there.
So you were born here and then moved back. That's kind of the best of both worlds because you're already an American.
Exactly.
But then you get to grow up in Greece.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, what was growing up in Greece like?
It was, oh my God, it was amazing. I feel like I didn't appreciate it enough, and I realize it now that I live here. But I had probably the best childhood. Like, we lived in a village that, it was pretty small. That's where I went to school, which was like 2 minutes walking distance.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad had a convenience store, so I was there most of the time too. Playing with my friends every day and all that. It was just like, I grew up also with my grandparents. Like, our house was a duplex, so like my dad's parents were in the same house, but like they had their own side. But basically, I grew up with them as well. So yeah, I think that's where I also fell in love with cooking, because seeing my grandma and my grandpa like making all the sauce at the end of the summer with the fresh tomatoes, or like applesauce and all that stuff. So that's, I think, where it all started.
So you've always had a love for food. I was going to ask you like if you've ever done anything other than food, but it seems like you've kind of always
it was always has been with food. When I was in high school, I wanted to become a food scientist, but the way the system works, basically I didn't do well in the exams, and that was kind of my second option, like cooking, but that was also something I really liked. And after my final exams, like I see that I didn't got into the school that I wanted, I applied to culinary school in Greece, and I ended up not going. I got accepted and everything, but I was already here. I made the decision to like come here, so I just didn't go there.
Oh, yeah. Well, everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
What's you said applesauces and tomato sauces? Like what's an applesauce? I'm thinking differently than just like applesauce. Like.
So it's not exactly an apple. I don't know what is it called, but it's like it looks like a baby apple, but it's green. So I'm not sure what the name of it is. That's why I call it applesauce, but it has a very similar taste to it, more like a sour apple. Mm-hmm. And we had a tree in our yard, like a giant tree. So at the end of the year, like my grandpa would like get them all, and then they would set up a fire outside with a big pot and just like simmer it for hours over there. Like the whole neighborhood smells, and
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, like you can smell like my aunt next door, they were doing the same thing, so you knew what somebody was doing something, because all you can smell is like the sauce, or like the tomato sauce they were making. And the tomato sauce, again, it's from like our garden. So my grandma had like a beautiful garden every year, and again, any extra she had at the end of the year would just jar up the sauces and just have them for the winter. So
that sounds amazing. Yeah. So I did really want to talk to you about Greek food. I've wanted to ask you at work before, but I was like once you were like, oh yeah, I'll do the podcast, I was like, I want to wait, because I don't want to like know all the information already. Yeah. So what is Greek food to you? Like what's the core of it? What makes Greek food special from other Mediterranean foods?
So it is very similar to other Mediterranean foods, honestly, like very similar to Italian, I would say, the closest one. We use a lot of fresh ingredients, and because everything is so local, the flavor of it's unimaginable. And again, I feel like I didn't appreciate anything until I moved here, eating like all the tomatoes, cucumbers and stuff, all the simple things, and realizing, wow, like I had it really good back there, and now I'm just eating this grass. Unless obviously it's from a farmer's market, which they taste amazing, but anything from the supermarket is just,
isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it tastes like nothing.
No, the food from supermarkets, and even like Cisco and like Sid Wainer and some of these bigger food purveyors, like I would always say it where I used to work, like the carrots tasted like cardboard. Like they legitimately taste like nothing. It was the first thing I noticed at Little Moss was I peel the carrot, and it was just like the fragrance like hits you in the face, like just so floral and sweet and beautiful. Like the difference in produce is amazing. I haven't really traveled to Europe, but I'm sure the produce is great.
It is, and very cheap as well.
Oh,
like,
really?
extremely cheap. Yeah. That's why I like working at Little Moss, because all the fruit reminds me like of my childhood. Like all the tomatoes that we get in the summer are just like so like delicious, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so great. And I just love working there, because I didn't know about farmers markets until I started working there. I knew there was a thing, obviously, but I never went to one or buy anything from there. Like my whole life, not my whole life, like the past 10 years I've been living here, I was only going to the supermarket. So now the past 3 years I've been working there, I go to the farmers market more often, and start enjoying food again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Danny was telling me about like the one at King Farm, and I'm so excited for spring and summer, because I have a similar sentiment where I'll go to Market Basket or Stop and Shop. That's where I do most of my shopping, and don't really buy a lot of vegetables because they're kind of just not really doing it for me. Like, just doesn't provide much. But then the quality at Little Moss is just so good that it makes me like excited about it. So I definitely want to kind of just go to farmers markets this summer and, just kind of try to get produce like only from there, and even eggs too. Like, especially eggs are so expensive right now.
I know,
like,
they're probably going to be more expensive at the farmers market. But honestly, it's worth it.
It's hard to say though, because it's like they're so expensive right now.
Yeah.
Are like farm fresh eggs the same price or cheaper or more expensive? I don't really know. Because like you can get like a dozen eggs right now for like $13. Like almost, it's like more than $1 per egg.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's crazy.
Especially eating like 2 a day if you like working out and stuff too. It's crazy. You go through like 2 of those a week at least.
And I'm eating 4 a day, so it's like you
I
just go through it.
It's
just you go through them so quick.
Yeah.
So Greek food is somewhat similar to Italian food. Fresh. Do you guys do like pasta in some capacity?
No, that's the only thing I would say it's kind of different. But we use a lot of olive oil. We don't use really butter. Honestly, I barely ate any butter growing up because everything we used was like with olive oil. Also, I wanted to say about the seafood, because of the way Greece is, like we get fresh seafood a lot, along with like I said, with the fresh vegetables and stuff. We don't import really anything, because everything is like from the country, so everything we have is the fresh thing ever. You know what I mean? So the freshest of the freshest.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dish? Like, what's like Greek? Like your number one?
Yeah. That's a tough question. I was thinking about it because I'm like, he's definitely gonna ask me that. It's okay, so there's this dish that is very controversial. Like, I would say 90% of the Greek population hates it. But I'm just like obsessed with it. I think you have to cook it right. It's okra stew with chicken. My mom makes the best one because like there's a trick to make it, because obviously okra gets like very slimy if you don't cook it right. But if you cook it right, it's really good. So that's like one of my favorite dishes that I grew up eating a lot, and
Is that like comfort food?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was gonna also ask you like your favorite comfort food. That's Greek, but it's probably the same.
Yeah,
probably the same thing.
I have a couple. Honestly, it's not just that. I like this one a lot, but then another one is it's French fries. So the way my grandma used to make it, we spend the summers. So my mom's mom, my other grandma, we spend our summers at her house, and she would always cook us, all the food that we liked, nothing healthy. It's just like the meatballs and then the French fries. And the way she was doing the French fries was, she was doing in a shallow pan, and she would just like basically smash the potatoes a little bit, so when they cook, they get all like crispy edges and like crispy parts on it, like in a weird way. There wasn't like a flat French fry. It was almost like exploding kind of thing. And we'd eat that with feta. So that was like, I would say my other comfort food that I have from that, which is so simple, but like it's just like the way it was made. So
the feta cheese must be very different.
Oh my god,
that's probably a big one.
Yes. It is very hard finding a good brand here because there's so many brands. There's one brand, I'm gonna promote this because it's like the best brand ever.
Go for it. Shout it out.
It's called Vivoni. If you were looking for authentic feta, that's where you need to get. And yeah, the feta is like, so again, my dad had like a convenience store, so we had a section where we do like different kinds of feta as well. So I kind of tasted a lot of fetas growing up, like ones that were made just from cow, some from sheep and all that stuff. So you can tell like the difference in the texture and the flavor and how it affects even the consistency of the feta. So that was like another thing, like I ate a lot of feta growing up, so I kind of know the good stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the difference between like the one that's made with cow's milk versus sheep milk?
So one of them is like more firm, and the other one has like more like a mellow flavor. Not in, I don't like that way. Like I like the cow from the cow milk. The other one is like very mellow in a weird way and kind of softer. Where the other one is firm and it's not very soft. Like it crumbles easier, if I want to put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I love feta cheese.
Me too.
I think the only cheese I like more than feta cheese is goat cheese. I really enjoy
I like goat cheese. Yeah, it's very, I would say it's kind of close-ish. I know it's obviously different, but and softer. But I would say that's very close to feta. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love me and Rich talked about that because you know Rich talked about cheese a lot, and it was like very interesting, like something didn't really learn about at school, but he was so knowledgeable about it, and just like talking about cheese got me so stoked. I was like, I want to make some cheese. Like it's so cool.
Yeah.
And there's so many different types of cheese, and like the different types of milk affect it, the different preparations, and then you get into hard cheeses when you like press them and age them. Like it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like I think all of that is really cool. I really wanted to ask you about your experience at Guy Savoy's restaurant. That's where you ate, right? In France?
Guy Savoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guy Savoy,
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Okay, so it was very unexpected, first of all, and that we weren't planning on going there. I wasn't expecting what I experienced. So we got there, it was like this old building, and as soon as you get there, they have a chef, or I guess a hostess, but dressed up as a chef, that they basically tell you where to go, because it's like you're going up the stairs, left, right, until you get to the restaurant. And as soon as you get there, the door opens by itself, and you walk into the hallway. They take your coats and the bags and everything. And the restaurant where they sat us it looked more like a library. It was like this narrow room with like books left and right. A bunch of them was like Michelin guides and all that stuff. So it was just us and a table next to us. Before we sat there though, we walked through, so like we kind of looked at the other rooms, which were a little bigger, but it seemed very homey. It wasn't like a restaurant experience. It seemed very like, had like a carpet on the floor, so it felt like you're at home. So I don't know if that was on purpose to create like a homey experience.
I feel like that's definitely on purpose. I had a very similar vibe at the French Laundry. It's in a house. Like we're basically in a living room with like this carpet and vibe, very homey. But.
Yeah. So we got there. They gave us as a complimentary. It looked insane. I don't even know exactly what like I don't really remember much. It was like all chestnut, but it was like different forms of chestnut. It was one that we had to drink it with a straw, kind of like a soup. It was kind of thick, but they gave us a straw with it. And then there was like this little cracker also made out of chestnut, and something else which I don't remember honestly. That was like complimentary, like a welcome kind of thing. One thing that I was like, wow, I can't believe they have this on the table. They had a salt and pepper, which I feel like, which is weird because I wasn't expecting to see it at that kind of a restaurant.
Yeah, that is strange.
Yeah, but I do love salt, so I was putting salt on every single thing they were bringing us. So I'm like, I guess that's a good thing because I could avoid asking. So, but it's just weird that at a Michelin star restaurant we have salt and pepper.
No, that's
on the
super
table.
weird because you'd think that everything is seasoned.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah,
would want it. Interesting choice.
Yeah. Then they gave us the menus, and it's just the system is so weird because like the pricing, you don't know if it's per person because it doesn't say if it's per person or if it's like for the party. But I guess it makes sense that it's per person because they don't know how many people like going to be at the table. So we're kind of embarrassed to ask because we saw the menu. It was I think it was 650 euros, but we didn't know if it was per person. And I'm like, I don't want to ask. I'm like kind of embarrassed. I'm like, I feel like we should kind of know this or like do some research before. And I'm like, okay, let's just not ask. And we went with a sample menu. And it was basically that menu we're looking, and it ended up being per person, actually $6.50 per person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite expensive.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah. So it was basically, we did a sample menu, which was the €6.50 menu, but in smaller portions. But at the end of the day, we're so full. Because even the samples, it was like 12 or 13 meals. And that doesn't include the dessert. And I'm like, I just can't. We're sitting there for 3 hours eating. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I need to stand up. I'm like, I'm so bloated. It's like so much food. But every single dish, it was amazing. We had blue lobster. We had like a truffle soup. And they gave us those popovers for the soup. One dish that I really liked a lot, it was tomatoes, basically. Just like almost, what is it called? Like carpaccio almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, it had like a tomato shape jello. And as soon as he brought us to the table, he cut it open. It was like the juice of the tomato. So it was concentrated, I guess, tomato juice or something. And it was so flavorful. Like that also reminded me a lot of my childhood because of the olive oil on it, and like just the salt and pepper, like so simple, but like it was just like the Greek tomato salad that we have. And I'm like, this is great because it's like the part, you know, like when you eat a Greek salad, not the one with the lettuce because that's not authentic, just the one with tomatoes and cucumbers and feta and stuff. It's like on the bottom of it, it gets all the good juices from everything. So all you want to do is just dip the bread in there. So casually, I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this because this place is super nice. But I'm like, you know what? I spent so much money, so I just went for it. So I just like taking the bread and just like dipping it in.
Yeah, for $6.50 you can dip your bread
I'm like,
in the sauce.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. But it was worth every bite, and it was just tomatoes on the plate, nothing else, which was amazing. But what else was it? There was something. It was tuna with caviar and lentils. It was rice. It came in this little pan, and then on top of it had foie gras, and the blend of all of it, like we mixed the foie gras with the rice. It was like it had that umami flavor, like was so satisfying, like very fatty, coating your throat while you're eating it. It was amazing, and it came with like a chicken roulade type thing, with some gravy. Then at the end, I don't remember what else we had, honestly. It was like so many dishes. I tried to take pictures, but at some point I kind of stopped because I was forgetting because I was so full from eating all that. So when it was time for dessert, they brought a whole cart out, and they had like 5-6 different types of desserts. They had some ice creams, like 4 different kinds, and then you can choose one. I got like a pear pie with vanilla ice cream. So good, like so simple, but like so good. And then one thing that we didn't get, but the table next to us got, they came out with another cart that had basically trees and basil pots and like parsley pots and thyme and all that stuff, like giant. So what they did was offering tea. So whatever you want, they cut it in front of you, and they just cut it also smaller pieces in front of you, and they make the tea for you, which I think was a little extra, honestly, because I see what they were going for, but I felt like a little too extra.
Yeah, just for tea.
just for tea, yeah. But yeah, other than that, it was great. And at the end, they just gave us like a little bag with like a croissant, like a raspberry croissant or something like that. I think, I don't know, I didn't even eat it. I was so full. But yeah, it was amazing. I would definitely do it again. And it's like once in a lifetime experience. And, you know, and from what you told me, honestly, what we paid was way cheaper than what you paid. And then it hit me when you told me at the place you went, French Laundry, when you said how much you paid. I was like, okay, then we actually paid very cheap. We paid $7.50 when they're paying for the both of us. And I was like, okay, that actually makes sense, because Europe, I think it's cheaper at restaurants. So I feel like it kind of makes sense. So
yeah, but that's still so expensive.
It is, for sure, yeah.
But we also did like a wine pairing, and
we did that too, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got like supplements. I think the most like that was the biggest mistake I made as a novice at like a 3-star Michelin restaurant. Was I got the tagliatelle with white truffles, basically just buttered noodles with white truffles. The white truffles were delicious.
Yeah.
I've worked with them before, and it was my first time getting to eat them, so that was really, really great. But that little bowl of pasta was $200 just for that one, and it was like 4 bites. So I think that was a little like, that was probably an item that was on there to make everything else seem reasonable. But then I was like, oh, well, I've seen this before. Like, I've seen it in videos and stuff, so I wanted to try it. But yeah, it wasn't that good. I'm going to be completely honest. It just was not worth $200.
Yeah, that would hurt me.
Yeah, because $200 is like, you can, go have a really nice dinner for 2 people. Yeah. It's just like a couple bites of like decent pasta. And the sauce was actually like breaking and everything. Like, it was just butter. So it was just like a butter sauce. So it was breaking, and the truffles were delicious, but it just kind of fell flat a little bit.
Yeah. Was it shaved truffles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did it like tableside. They had a beautiful box, and it had like a lock on it, and they were like, half the appeal honestly was them coming and putting that on the table and opening it, because you just get hit with the fragrance.
Oh.
And it's just like, the white truffles smell so unbelievable. Like, they make black truffles look like whatever, but they're just amazing. And they were the biggest ones I've ever seen. Like, I had one at Oscar that we were working with, and it was like really big. Like, it was the size of a baseball. But they had one that was like this. Like, it was a fucking soccer ball. Like, I'd never seen a truffle like that before.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was cool to get to see them. Definitely not worth it though. Not worth the $200.
Were you able to tell the difference from the black truffles?
I think if I was blindfolded, I would probably be able to tell, because the white truffles are so much more fragrant. Mm-hmm. They just have such a stronger smell, but they're also more like mellow, whereas the black truffles can be kind of pungent, especially if they're out of season. Mm-hmm. And they're just not as like flavorful. Like, the white truffles actually did like kind of taste like something, but I feel like black truffles don't really taste like much, especially if they're like out of season. But yeah, that was very expensive and not very worth it. But all the other supplements were like arguably the best part of the meal. Like, they had a scallop crudo, and they did like little bay scallops. So it was like 3 little scallops, and there's like a big one, a medium one, and a smaller one. And like, just, I don't know what the sauce was. It was like a red sauce. It was kind of like, it tasted like Asian in some way. Like I don't want to say curry, because it definitely wasn't curry, but there was like lemongrass or something, like just something like Southeast Asian in there. And then they had like a little coconut like jelly that they put in there with micro cilantro, and that was like $60 for that little thing, but that was worth it. Like, that was sensational. But yeah, meals like that are really expensive.
I feel like you kind of pay for the show too. Because most of them, like you said, they came out with the lock and all that stuff and taking out the box. You pay part of it for the show. Mm-hmm. It's, because you don't know what they're going to do. They come in with mysterious cards and whatever, and like, oh, what's next? And they're just like, oh. Yeah,
and I love their dessert box that they do at the end. They bring out like a chocolate box, and they have all these little chocolates, and they look like mosaic, like really, really beautiful. But those chocolates were so good. They had a peanut butter and jelly one. Oh my God, it was so good.
That sounds delicious.
They also had an olive oil one. So it's just like a little chocolate truffle, but it was like dark chocolate and like extra virgin olive oil. And it was like bittersweet, but just like what a great way to end a meal. My favorite way to end a meal, like especially a big meal, is like bittersweet. That's why I like affogato. It's my favorite dessert.
Okay.
Because it's like sweet, and then you just get that like bitter of the coffee, and then you're left like perfect. Like, that's just like the perfect last flavor to have in your mouth. No, meals like that are really, really expensive. When I was at Oscar, it was $300 per person for 14 courses, which I thought was a lot at the time. But that's pretty good, actually. Like,
and there were full courses, or like a.
It's a tasting. So definitely smaller courses. I'd say the biggest portions you'd get would be like the trout, the venison, which are probably like 3-ounce portions of fish, and then like all the accoutrements. But everything else, like a lot of the courses were really small. Like, the first 3 courses were like snacks, really. Like one of them was a piece of seaweed. that we would fry, so it was like just nice and crispy, and then pipe little mussel emulsion dots on it, and then like mussel and sourdough powder. And that was really good. It's basically just chips and dip. Like that was Chef Frederick's take on chips and dip, but like so good.
Yeah.
Like it just, I remember that one really well. And then the kohlrabi, which I want to do a version of at Little Moss or something like it, because we get really, really nice kohlrabi from the farms. But I got to make it a couple times, and you would like spiralize it and then roll it into a circle, and then you would compress it. So you'd vacuum seal it with, I think we did linden. It was like a linden cordial, which is kind of like it's a tree. Like linden is a tree, but people make tea out of it. I actually have some here if you want some. But you would like compress it, and then you take them out and you cut them in half. So now they look like a little half moon. And then it's hard to describe it, but you would take your fingers and you would put it in the middle of the flat part of the moon. And then you would like go like this and fold all the layers back. So the end result is you have like a teardrop.
Oh, okay.
And then we'd keep them super cold, pipe a linden emulsion, and then we had like some type of, I forget what type of flour it was. It was probably linden. It was all about linden on that course. But we would like keep it cold and then serve it on like bowls of ice, which I was also responsible for making. So like right before service, I would look like a crazy person. Like you'd have these little metal bowls and then crush a bunch of ice and then take pot lids and you'd like smash it in there. So it's like a perfect bowl.
Yeah.
And I would have to do that so many times. But we'd serve it on there, and the texture in the end, it's just a one biter, but the texture in the end was like snow. Like I don't know if you've ever just like picked snow up and eaten it like when you were a kid.
Yeah.
It was exactly that like kind of crunchy texture. Like very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So but that meal was $300, which I thought was crazy at the time, but there are definitely more expensive restaurants for sure. Like €650. Like that's very expensive for sure. I don't know what the French Laundry was for the base. Like how much it was for the base. It's probably similar though. Probably in that range. But goddamn.
Yeah. One place I want to try next is Alenia in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
I was just looking just for fun the prices, and if I'm not wrong, they were pretty decent. I obviously was like small. It was maybe like 4 courses or something like that, but it was like $200 to $300 per person, which obviously it's a lot, but for a place like this, I mean, it's decent, I would say. Because I want to try their dessert. I don't know if they still do it the same way, but I've seen videos where it's table side, so you have this like blank canvas, like basically that's the table, and they put like I don't know, I think it's paper on it, like obviously food safe to eat on it, and then the server comes and they just basically paint this table with all the desserts that you eat, which is pretty cool. I don't know if that was a one-time thing, but I remember it was all over social media, like showing how they do it, and it was the coolest thing. I'm like, wow, this is like crazy.
Yeah, Alinea is so cool. That's on my bucket list for sure. Grant Atkins is such a talented chef. He actually kind of got started at the French Laundry when he was on the opening team, which I think is really really cool.
Awesome.
Like he was working with Thomas Keller. But no, I would always see the one where they do the balloon.
Oh, the helium balloon.
Yeah, like it's like a candied balloon.
Yeah,
like,
that looks so cool.
Just so creative.
Yeah.
Like, things that I would never think of.
Yeah.
Like just in a million years. Such a talented team.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about, while we're talking about desserts, I know you kind of have an affinity for desserts. So like you're a really, really good cook, but it seems like you prefer baking and maybe want to have a bakery in the future. We've talked about that a little bit. So where did that love of baking come from? And do you prefer baking over cooking?
So I always loved baking, and I was always so bad at it. Because with cooking, you can take things in and then you take things out and add things in and all that stuff. So it's very free. But with baking, you have to do things exact, otherwise it doesn't come out. So I started, when I was trying to bake anything, I tried to like eyeball things and do stuff like that, but it wouldn't come out right. And honestly, the past year, I would say, I started being a little better with baking. So I made as a goal to make everybody, my family and friends, like on their birthdays, because I want to make like really nice cakes. Like I love making cakes, and I was always like really bad at it. So the past year, I started making cakes for my friends and family, and that was like my gift to them on their birthday. And that's how I practice. And now I love how confident I feel now just making cakes, which is pretty. I'm like so proud of myself. I know it's like something so simple, but like there was this YouTuber Yolanda that she would make those crazy looking cakes, like those that were like it would look like your bottle, but it would be cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
the super realistic.
yeah, exactly. So I love watching her YouTube, and I always wanted to do it. So one time, like, okay, I'm gonna buy the stuff she's saying and follow her recipe and all that stuff. And I tried to make the cake. It did not come out. I was so disappointed. I'm like, okay, whatever. I guess baking is not for me. But then when I made the decision to start making the cakes for my friends and family, I realized that it's so easy. You just gotta like find a good recipe and just like practice it. That's what makes it. But where it started from, my mom is very good baker with desserts. Not so much with stuff that have to do with dough, but like all the other desserts, like she's great with those things. And again, other people that kind of influenced me through my life for desserts, my grandma, she used to make those sweetbreads for Easter and Christmas. It would take her all day long. So she would make, and that was a kind of a dessert that we eat. I know it's not really a dessert, but we eat it like as part of dessert. So she would wake up at 6 in the morning, turn the oven on, and just like basically making the kitchen area into like a proof box. So when she would make the dough, she would just like leave it in there for hours to like proof and all that stuff. And she would make big batches because she would give to the whole neighborhood basically. We did not have room in the freezer. Like we just gone by the end when it was done because she would give it to everybody. She would make like 20 loaves at least. Insane, yeah. And like obviously before she passed, I was like, okay, I need the recipe. Like, you know, I want to learn how to do it. So I'm sitting there with her, and she doesn't measure anything. She just uses her palm. She's like, oh, I just use 1 or 2. I'm like, how does it come out so perfect every time? And it's baking. I'm like, that doesn't not make sense to me. Like they don't measure anything with measuring cups. Like she didn't even know what measuring cup was. So she would just use like there's like, oh, this much flour. It's like, oh, if it needs more, just add more. Like I'm like, oh, okay, thanks a lot.
You're like, great, now I can never do this.
So I'll go back to the recipe now, and that's all it says. Like, but it's like my hand is different than yours. Like, so I just gotta, you know, play with it a few times so it gets perfect.
Yeah, grandmothers are magical in that way. They just can.
It just doesn't make sense to me how baking has to be so exact, but at the same time, somehow like grandparents are able to just eyeball everything.
Yeah.
My mom measures with a mug. All her desserts in her book, it says cup in Greek because she has everything written down in Greek. But it translates. She uses an actual mug. Just pick one mug and just measure everything, all the ingredients with that mug, and that's how it comes out, which is insane to me because again, it comes out fine. When I was working at Groundswell, one of the old chefs, he asked me for one of my mom's recipe, and I said, okay, just so you know, it's a mug. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, just pick a mug and just measure everything with it. He's like, no. He's like, okay, you gotta give me your mom's mug. So one day I walk into the bakery and I'm like, okay, here's my mom's mug. Just use this to measure everything. So he just like used it like for flour and liquids and everything, but then he was weighing it out as he was going. So he has it for next time. But it just, yeah.
I find whenever I do that, whenever I like my mom gave me her banana bread recipe, which I'm actually about to do. I have some bananas here that are almost there. But it was like all in volume and kind of in weird increments of volume. So I made it one time and I weighed everything. So I was like, oh, like put it all in grams. So next time I could just do this perfectly. It'll be really easy. And then I do it next time in grams and it doesn't come out. Like it's the volume is like, it's a weird one, like converting all of those into each other.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, grandmothers are magic like that, where they can just be like, oh, it's just a handful, throw it in, and it just comes out perfectly. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you do it,
Yeah.
no chance. No chance. So you would want to have a bakery one day?
Yeah, I want like a Greek style bakery. I guess it's very similar to Europeans, but also different. So our staple breakfast in Greece, they have those little stores. Usually they're very tiny, and they have this like on the outside they have this glass window, and that's basically okay. There's a glass window, and there's like a heated surface on the bottom, and then on the top of it they have it's called bugatsa, which is basically layers of phyllo dough filled with pastry cream, and then you just they cut it up for you, and then they put powdered sugar and cinnamon. They have the same thing with feta cheese, and you can do different kinds. Or basically, they have everything with puff pastry and phyllo dough made on this thing. So this is kind of our breakfast. So I want to combine something like that in bakery, like make some of traditional desserts, but more like modern looking maybe, and just like kind of incorporate them, into like I know a lot of people are vegan or gluten free, and I think that'll be good because a lot of people nowadays are just and the good thing is it's easy for me to make vegan desserts because basically half of the year we go vegan in Greece because of Lent. So we have a lot of recipes that are vegan, whether it has to do with desserts or savory stuff. So that's something I grew up with, so it's very easy for me to just make. And I know it tastes good, because I practiced it through the years.
Yeah, it's hard to make vegan food taste good.
Yeah, for sure.
But I feel like whenever I make something vegan, like my stepmom for a while, she went through a phase where she like really had to lower her cholesterol. So she just like pretty much only ate vegan for a little while. And I would like cook at home sometimes. But I feel like when you would make something with no butter in it, no cream in it, like nothing like that, you really have to like make it taste good.
Yeah.
Just like naturally, like you have to really pay attention to like the cooking process. Like I was making like a squash soup or something, like you really have to get like a deep roast on there and like season it really nicely, because you can't lean on butter and cream to make it like delicious and rich and like give it all that flavor. You have to actually make the food taste good just by itself, which is a lot easier with good products like we were talking about before. This might be really dumb of me to ask, but is baklava Greek?
Okay, so again, this is another controversial thing. That's something that Turks and Greeks have been fighting over for years.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So it's like yes and no. In Turkey they make it different, and in Middle East actually, they make it with pistachios. Where in Greece we make it with walnuts. So I would say it's inspired, but like we make it in our own way.
It's interesting how cultures, like when you're so close geographically, like that the food culture kind of like gets blurred, like the lines are blurred a little bit, because it's like, well, who actually created this? But I mean, as long as there's like a clear defined, like this is our version, this is your version.
Yeah,
that
it's
makes
like different versions, so I feel like that's a fair answer, because like all over social media, like people fighting over what is baklava? Is it Greek or is it Turkish? Or the tzatziki, is it Greek or is it Turkish? I'm like, everybody makes it in a different way. So I feel like
make it your own.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't mean to be controversial. I just I know like phyllo dough, like I associate that with Greek culture. I don't know why. That's just what I immediately associate it with. I think because spanakopita, that's my mom's favorite dish.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually her lock screen on her phone, which I think is it's just like a tray of spanakopita, which I think is hilarious.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's like I know that's Greek because it's got like the spinach and the feta in it. But yeah, I was just curious about baklava. I did not mean to be controversial or anything, but I like the one with pistachio in it, honestly. I think that's my favorite baklava. They do that one at the Baker in New Bedford. They do it with pistachio. It's really, really good. I don't know if I've had one with walnuts in it.
Yeah, I make really good baklava, honestly. Honestly, the past 2 weeks, I know we're trying to do this for 3 weeks now. I was like, oh, maybe I should make like baklava and just have them try. But I just, obviously, Never happened, but I'll make sure to make some for you to try.
I would love to try.
I do like baklava though. I don't care what's inside, like pistachios or walnuts. I like the one with chocolate. Like they put, I think they put it in the layers, and they drizzle like chocolate, and then oh my god, it's like
I've never had that.
It's like game changer. A lot of people hate it because they want traditional, but I love chocolate, so I feel like the one with the chocolate is the best one.
I mean, that sounds better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this place in Providence. It's called Aleppo. It's like a Middle Eastern cafe, but they also have baked goods, and they have homemade. They make everything, all the baked goods, and they have baklava and a bunch of traditional other desserts. And they actually have the chocolate baklava there, and that's where I had it for the first time. And I'm like, oh my god, that's how I like it from now on, with chocolate only. Yeah,
that's funny. So you said tzatziki is also, that's one that people kind of debate if that's Greek or Turkish or
or even the Greek salad type thing, because you see like Turkish people making the tomato salad, but then we also make it as well, which. I feel like not a lot of people use the cucumbers. I think some people just do it more like a yogurt sauce with garlic, and then we add dill and cucumber, and that's what I mean. It's like you can never settle a right answer to that. So
yeah, I mean, in my mind, that's Greek, but I also don't know anything about Turkish food, so maybe I need to go to Turkey or have someone on that knows about Turkish food. So something else I wanted to ask you about was, so you went to culinary school. Mm-hmm. You went to BCC.
Yes.
So what was their program like?
So it was, I liked the program. It was a very small, not a small program. It was a big program. It's just like we didn't have a lot of students like that. Like we started, like there were times we would start with 20 students and only like 5 of us made it by the end of like our 3 years. So it wasn't like Johnson was, which I feel like everybody just like pays attention and does all that stuff. It's just like we had a lot of people that are just dropping out and didn't want to do some things. I'm like, if you're in culinary school, I feel like you kind of have to like suck it up and break that chicken down instead of gagging over it. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. It's part of the job.
It is.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be able to kill a cow or anything like that. But I mean, if you give it to me dead, I'm happy to learn to break it down. So all those things, or even trying things, obviously unless you're allergic to anything, but there's a lot of picky eaters that they don't want to try anything. I'm like, that's part of your job.
Yeah,
you have to try everything.
That's 100% bullshit because like being picky in culinary school, because I had a close friend, Kyle Kravitz, and he was vegan at the time, and we went through meat fabrication ID, and he would break down everything, no problem. And then when we got to the like cured meat section, he would try everything, even though he's a vegan. So he would try it.
Oh, wow.
So it's like you can't be picky in culinary school. Yeah. Like even this, my friend is vegan and he would eat meat.
Wow.
Like just so he would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like that's a good one. But anyway.
But yeah, I mean the program was great. We did ice sculpturing. We did
ice sculpturing.
Yeah, which was really cool.
That's so crazy to do that in culinary school.
But it's not fun doing it in the winter. My class did it in the winter, but there was another class that did it like in the springtime, which wasn't as bad. But we sit in the back. We had like the way the kitchen was, there was a loading dock, but it was all closed up, but it was freezing over there. So we had those giant blocks of ice. And at the beginning of the class, we had to like choose what our design basically. And the teacher was like, don't do anything complicated, obviously, because, you know, it's gonna be hard, you know. So my team ended up doing a bell, and then you have to like to do the details. You use like a screwdriver and a hammer. It was awesome. It's just very hard though because we had to transfer it when it was done. Oh no! Every class actually had to put it back in the freezer, so we had to roll it in those rolling carts, which was like, if that falls on you, like it'll break your toes and everything.
Yeah.
It was so heavy. And then at the end, when we finished our designs and everything, which was at the end of the semester, we displayed them on campus outside. So there was this little bridge that we had, and it had like this flat top, and we had to transfer. Our kitchen was in the basement, so we had to go up with the elevator, go down on the rolling thing, and then there's like 3 people trying to hold it so it doesn't fall over with blankets and everything. It was a mess. It was a really fun class.
And this is during winter?
That was during winter.
So it's like freezing outside.
It was so bad. Yeah, we had to use gloves and everything because it was freezing. It was so bad, but it was a really fun class though.
That's such like a something I wouldn't think that you would do in culinary school, like carving ice sculptures, but it's a good skill to have in your back pocket, I guess.
Sure,
if you ever do like a giant banquet,
I don't remember anything. I wouldn't be able to do it, but sure, yeah. But in general, the program was great. It was nice that it wasn't as many students because you created bigger relationships with the teachers. Actually, I had one of the teachers. She wasn't actually my teacher. She was the pastry chef, and she was always so kind, and we'd always go on her side because the kitchen, the way it was on the right side was the baking side, and the left side was where we do the cooking. So we'd go always over there. She was always very welcoming, and every question we had, she would answer. And we kept us a good relationship. That she was even at my wedding, in September. So that's why I like it. You create a different relationship when it's less students, you know. Because I feel like, I'm assuming you went to CIA. I'm assuming your classes were how many people? Like at least 20?
Yeah.
Or so?
Yeah, 20 to 25 usually.
I never had that big of a class. So it must have been, I don't know, like, did you have that relationship, I guess, with your teachers?
Probably not as close.
Yeah.
But it depends. Like some teachers I felt much closer to than others.
Yeah.
Like Chef Nidahara, I loved him. He was like my fundamentals teacher. We probably had 20 kids in our class. And yeah, definitely felt closer, but never like super intimate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think with anybody that I can think of at school, because there's just so many kids in the class and everybody needs to get some attention. So it's like, it was just never really like that. Professor B, though, was really amazing. Our front of house teacher for the restaurant program, she like, I felt very close with her. She was amazing. And my dog died while we were like in class. And she was like super understanding and like gave me a hug and like let me just be barista for the day so I could just like cry and make coffee all night. Because you can't miss more than 2 classes at the CIA or you fail.
Oh, really?
That like section. And then you have to do it again. And I wasn't about to do it again. So, and I like took a day off because I was like, oh, it's like nice out. Like I'm just going to go play Frisbee with my friends or something. And then I like missed another day already because I was like driving. I would go visit Sayana like pretty much every weekend. And so I already had like missed my 2 days. So then Florence died. Rest in peace, Florence. And I was like, I literally cannot miss class. I was like, this fucking sucks. My God. But yeah, anyway, BCC.
Yeah, no, it's I loved everything about it. I did Skills USA. I don't know if you guys had that.
Yeah, we did. I wanted to ask you about the competition. Yeah.
So it took me 3 years to graduate. Normally it's like 2 years, but because English wasn't my first language, they had me take a test, and like an ESL test. And because I guess I didn't do that great, they had me take English class, even though I went to school for 10 years in Greece. Not 10 years, my whole life actually. And I had a certificate that says I speak English. Anyway, so it took me 3 years. So I basically spread out my classes. So when I was in the kitchen for functions, because I wanted to be in that kitchen so bad. So like I signed up for every function, even though I didn't have any labs yet. So I feel like that's also something that it's good on your teacher's eyes, seeing that you're that interested and always signing up for things. We're getting paid, obviously, which was a nice thing, but also like I wanted to experience things. But I would see other people practice for Skills USA, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm signing up the moment I'm able to. So the second year I'm in culinary school, I right away asked about Skills USA, and I'm like, okay, I want to do it. So the first part is the test. It's the regional, so it's basically everybody from Massachusetts. So because I guess there's not a lot of culinary schools in Massachusetts, we were competing with high school, like vocational schools. So the first time I went, I got first place on the regionals, and I went to the state competition, which was me, this other guy, and we had from my school, and we had our own kitchen, which was great because all the high school students, they were in their classroom, and they had their tables, but we had our own kitchen. It was like this, but then it had like 2 sinks and everything, so it was really nice, and it was nice and private. I got first place on that too, but because my score wasn't as high as the high school students, my teacher was like, okay, we're not going to send you to nationals, if you can't beat the high school. You know what I mean? So basically, I was kind of, even though like I beat the high school kids, like it wasn't as high as they wanted to be. So that was it. I didn't go to nationals. Then the next year, and that's how I met my husband. Actually, he saw my name on the Skills USA board. He signed up, so we ended up competing against each other.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, what a cute
so,
story.
I know. So it was me, him, and this other guy. And on the test, I was studying so hard. He did not study anything. He got first place for some reason. I'm like, that is so unfair. Anyway, but if you're first and second, you can go to the state competition. But if you get third place, you can't. So anyway, me and him ended up going to the state competition. I got first place, and my score was high enough for me to be able to go to nationals. So I did end up going to nationals. It was in Kentucky back then. It was such a great experience. It was amazing. It was me, this other girl from baking, and this other kid. I don't remember what he was doing. I don't know, but he was doing a lot of magic with us. But I don't remember what he actually went to Skills USA for. So anyway, we went to Kentucky. The first day was kind of like an orientation. They took us to the exhibition center, which was ginormous, and it had everything you can imagine, like from doing nails to engineering and all that stuff. It was like this giant place. So we go where the kitchen is basically, and it's like this huge place. It's people from all over the country. I'm like so nervous with those things. So I was like shaking the whole time, like, oh my God, what am I doing here? So I guess they make you take a test there as well, which I didn't know. But it was always.
Are these written tests?
Yeah, it was written tests. Yeah. Which was like, for me to be here, that means like, I know those things. Why are you making me take another test? Anyway, we took the test. I didn't study anything, but it was all like simple things about kitchen. Then they showed us what everything is. They didn't have a lot of things. They didn't have the stove that they have was not the spider one. It was the electric one, which is which I get it, but also like some things are hard to work with, like on an electric stove.
It's very different pacing too.
Exactly.
Like, you can control the fire more, control the flame. Like
yeah. And they didn't have blenders or anything like that. So all the sauces that I was planning on doing, I had to like improvise and find another way.
They didn't have blenders.
No, they didn't. So the way I had to do it was, how did I do it? Oh, I think I just chopped something. It was like a tomato sauce for something that I just chopped it really well. And then I just, I used the food meal to blend it, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, so we had mystery basket. Which beforehand they give you, like when I was practicing for it, they give you which one is gonna be. So you'd practice 3 different baskets, but you don't know which one you're gonna get. So I practiced all 3 of them, and then we got there. We got the basket that we got. It was, I don't know, like 7 or 8 hours. We had to take a break and all that, and it was such a cool experience, honestly. And then the results weren't coming out until that Friday. So the competition was Wednesday. Thursday, we had a free day. And then Saturday was the results. I got 15th place. But I mean, I guess it's good, cool all over the country.
No, yeah. It's cool that like
I was
nationals.
Hoping, I was hoping at least top 10, but I'm like, okay, I'll take the 15. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. I wish I could do it all over again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do that Skills USA as well when I was at school. I went to shadow with Chef Nidahara, and I was shadowing this woman, Lourdes. She's actually working at the French Laundry right now, I think. And I, was just kind of like helping, doing dishes, like watching, helping with little things. And I was like watching what she was doing, and I had never cooked professionally before culinary school. Like I just was in school for business, and then switched. So I didn't really have much experience. I'd only really gone through fundamentals at this point. I was like watching her, and I was like, there's no way I can do this. There's no way I can compete with other people, because I was just like, she was doing something, what made me decide I couldn't do it, because also like I wanted to focus on my studies and make sure I was doing well, because I wasn't a great student. But she was doing something with potatoes where she like cut out little circles and then blanched them and then put them in like a ring and made like these like little like flour looking like crisps basically that she was like putting on top of this dish, and it was like super complicated, like soaking them in clarified butter, like all these things. I didn't even know how to make clarified butter yet, so I was like, okay, I can't do this. Like I'm not there yet. Like I would love to do this, and I think cooking competitions are awesome. There's this anime, I don't know if you watch anime, but there's this anime called Food Wars, and it's like a culinary school anime, and it's like really awesome, and it's like they do competitions and compete.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I like when I got to culinary school, I was like, I want to compete. Like, I think that'd be really cool. No chance. Like, I was watching her. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm doing this. If I ever go back, though, maybe I've thought about going because I didn't finish my bachelor's. I went after my externship. I was like, I don't need to be in school anymore. I just want to start working. But if I were to ever go back, maybe I would do it because I feel like now I could do it for sure.
Yeah. I definitely think it's better to go when you're like at least second year in culinary school. At least you have some basic, because again, I also didn't know how to cook, so I knew how to cook, but like not like that, and I didn't know a lot of things. So I feel like the first year, even though I got first place, they didn't want to send me, which makes sense because I wasn't gonna competing with the whole country. Obviously, I'm not there yet. So like when I was in my second year, I felt more confident, like I knew more things. So I get what you're saying that.
Yeah.
You weren't ready. Yeah.
I could just tell that it was going to be like a waste of time. Like I was like, there's no point in me going through with this because I'm just going to lose. But maybe now I could, or maybe that's just my ego thinking that I could. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like now what I know now, like I think I could do so well. But I'm like, obviously, I wouldn't compete. Like I feel like it's unfair competing with college students.
Right, because you're like a professional now. Like you've had years in the industry. Yeah. Like same. Like that's. We had this girl in our, this woman, I should say, she was older than us, in our fundamentals class. I think I've talked about her before. Her name was Woo Hee. And she was in fundamentals and she had 9 years of experience, like in kitchens, just like working. Oh my God. So me and my friend Yasha would always try to finish first and try to get the highest grade. We were like competing against each other. And he had a lot of experience too. He'd been cooking since he was like 2. But she would just like deck us like every day, like she would, because you'd put your name on the board when you were done, so we were really just competing for second. Like she would just crush it. I think I finished before her one time, but then of course my score was lower. Like she was just like her knife skills, like her bâtonnets, her brunoise, everything was just perfect. I was like she has like fine dining experience. And we were like, we did not at the time. But it's fun competing. I think competing, not even just in competitions, but just in general, makes you better. Like I never really was a very competitive person until I met Yash, because he would like, you know, we'd shit talk each other, be like, oh, you fucking suck at this. Like, you know, even though he's like been on MasterChef Junior when he was a kid and all this stuff. But yeah, I think competition definitely makes you better, like pushes you. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I feel that kind of now. I'm very competitive now. So it's like, I mean, the past 2 years, I didn't really feel like there was much competition like in the restaurants I was working in, because I was just like, I just kind of know more about basic stuff than everybody here. So I'm like, whatever. But it felt wrong because I'm fresh out of culinary school. So it's like, it feels wrong to know the most. Like I shouldn't know more than people here. But now, like I love working at Little Moss because I feel like I'm like, oh, nice. Like I am the dumbest person in the room again. Like that's how I want it to be, because then I can learn, especially with Fook coming in now. Like he's so smart too, and he's been cooking for such a long time. Like I feel like I've learned so much from him. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from Danny. Like I'm learning from everybody. Learning from Lisa, Brandon, even like just everybody. Like it's nice to just be like learning new things again. Like it makes that's why I like cooking, is because it's like this infinite thing where you just never really run out of things to learn.
And I feel like it goes both ways, because like, for me at least, like I feel like I learned from you like all the fermented mushrooms like you do and the sauces. Like obviously I knew how to do, but we never actually did it. So it was really cool to see it and try it. Or even Fook that's been here for like a week, and he made us the pate the other day, which was the best thing I've ever had.
It was so good.
It was so good. It reminded me of my childhood so much.
And then me and Danny too. We were both like, this tastes like gratin. We were like,
so good. But yeah, you always learn from anybody and everybody. So it doesn't matter if you know everything or you don't know everything, because you're always going to teach something to the other person.
Yeah, and that's like the magic thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I was able to show you something with the fermenting.
Yeah.
But even that, like I've fermented like in my free time just for fun, and then cooked with it a little bit, but only a couple times. And then now doing it at Little Moss, and then like we have mushrooms, and I'm like, well, I was planning on just putting the juice in the sauce, and like that, like simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you, who doesn't ferment, you were just like, oh well, why don't you make a compound butter? And I was like, I've never thought of that. So it's like now we're applying things. It's like I like just being around creative people who are like interested, and because now we're just bouncing ideas off of each other, and things are happening. And like Danny tried the pasta yesterday, and he was like, dude, this is so good with the butter, like the fermented mushroom compound butter. So yeah, I think Little Moss is entering like a golden age right now.
Yeah.
Like I think we just have like a really, really talented team. I think we can do some cool shit. So I'm very excited to see what happens like in the next year or two. Really important one I wanted to touch on. What's your experience been like as a woman in kitchens? Like how has that been?
So, mostly good, I would say. So my first job when I moved here was at Chili's, which is a chain restaurant, and I was the only girl working dinners. I feel like all the guys that were like, they had me as a little sister, so like they were always very protective, and it was like really cool to see that. Because you would think a lot of times like they're competing, but like I was so new and I didn't know much, so like it was really nice, and I created really good relationships with all of them. I remember there was one time, it was like maybe my second year there. This guy came and I was trying to explain him things because I was training him, and he stops me and he says, I don't understand what you're saying because of your accent. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So that kind of like hurt my feelings because, and then the guys heard it and the guy's so pissed. So basically that kid got fired on the spot.
Wow.
So which was kind of really cool.
Yeah, talk about like a positive environment.
Like they had my back, you know what I mean? So it was really cool. They even got me this chef coat that said heart of the house protected. I don't know if I still have it, but it was so cute. It was like I was like the only girl. There was this another girl that was working in the morning for lunches. We had some other girls coming and going in the kitchen at night, but I was mostly working with guys. Then later on, when I was growing, basically, becoming a supervisor, like for my age, I was very mature and like very hardworking. And like when I was moving up.
How old were you at this time?
So like maybe 22. That was like a different restaurant. So I started as a line cook there, and then I moved my way up to like a supervisor. So it was like 22, I think, or 23, and there was this guy, like probably in his 50s or maybe a little older, that he did not like taking orders, especially from a 22-year-old. So he was very rude. It was an open kitchen. We had this incident once where he had something in the oven. I'm like, hey, can you please let me know when you're off the line so, I can watch your stuff pretty much. He goes off and starts yelling, and there's like people in the restaurant. I'm like, this is super embarrassing right now. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, yes, you need to tell me when you go. First, I'm your supervisor. Like, I know if you don't like this, but I'm your supervisor. Just let me know so I can watch your stuff so they don't burn it. We don't waste product. And then he's like flipping shit and then throwing his apron off, and I'm like, okay, get the fuck out of the kitchen. And there's like people watching. I'm surprised I didn't get fired. It's an open kitchen, but it was lunch, so it was only like one couple there. And anyway, like I started crying because I had it because he was always giving me so much attitude. But yeah, I mean, he ended up leaving too. But for the most part, I would say I've had very good experience being a woman in the kitchen. Like obviously there's incidents, I feel like all the time. It doesn't matter if you're like a woman or a man. But for the most part it was pretty cool.
Well, that's good. I feel like sometimes like women have a hard time in the kitchen, just like with guys like kind of being creeps and being weird. Like I saw a lot of that.
Yeah.
In the past 2 years, and I was just kind of be like, you don't really have to do that. But that's good that you had a positive experience.
Yeah.
But what a crazy interaction. Like yelling in an open kitchen is like, it's stressful.
It's hard to keep it in because in the kitchens, obviously, like we swear and stuff like that. I'm trying to keep it limited. Like when I first started at Little Moss, nobody was swearing. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. But then like after old chef left, Brandon started swearing. So like we kind of kept with it, was also swearing. But I don't think it's as much though. Like I've worked at worse kitchens where they swear like crazy. But this one, like what we have now, I don't think it's bad.
I almost feel like I almost feel wrong swearing at Little Moss. Like I've sworn like my whole life. Like just I've always kind of had a potty mouth, but like at Little Moss I always feel bad because then I just look at Lisa and I'm like, I feel bad swearing
in front of Lisa.
I know, yeah, because she's so sweet. Like,
yeah, she only swore twice. I've been there for 3 years. She swore twice. And it was something like, you know, she's mad when she swears, and it only happened twice, and you know it's bad. I don't remember what the situation was, but she only said the F word. It's not like she said anything crazy. But I'm like, oh, it's serious. Yeah.
I guess that's good to kind of save it for when it's serious.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about like yelling.
Yeah.
I don't like to yell at people or like get all emotional. I've only really like yelled once in my life, like truly where I was like shaking, like angry. And it was actually with like family members at dinner. So it was not great because like Sayana was crying, like she was crying, like my stepmother was crying, like everybody was just like upset. And I was like, this, like I wasn't wrong, but I just remember being like, I wish I didn't take it there. And so now I'm very like conservative. Like I've never really yelled at work or anything like that because like, I mean, there'll be a time when I will, but you save it for when it's like, this is actually necessary right now because you are being so ridiculous. But yeah, even in times of like, you know, calling someone out for something and they get all emotional and upset and everything, I'm always just like, whatever, man. Like, I'm just like, you get upset, but like, I'm not wrong. So like, you know, it's just, but yeah, saving yelling and cursing for the right moment, definitely. Because then it has more weight.
Exactly. It feels that, okay, it's serious now. But if you do it all the time, they're like, okay, he's yelling again, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But if you do it when it's, okay, the person knows we need to get serious now.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And I also feel like people, if you're actually trying to get a point across, that's something important, as soon as you raise your voice, people stop listening. Because they're like, oh my God, he's yelling. Like people shut down, especially if they have like childhood trauma, like Sayana, like she does not like yelling at all. So like I don't really raise my voice in the house, especially because I don't want to like hurt her. But yeah, people just shut down when you start yelling. I always say there's chefs that can teach, and then there's chefs that yell. That's kind of what I say.
that makes sense.
Maybe with like Gordon Ramsay being the exception because he just yells for TV. But, I definitely don't want to be screaming at people.
I know. I feel bad. Like as a supervisor, I had to like sometimes talk to people. Like I feel horrible being mean to people, but I know sometimes I'm like, okay, it's part of the job. I'm like, okay, you can also say in a nicer way. Like I have these conversations in my head. I'm like, so I don't like yell at people. But sometimes people don't have common sense that just gets it out of you. Like one incident, one time I was doing prep lists in my old job. I was in the walk-in. This guy comes in to get coleslaw and the container is empty and he gets what he gets and then he leaves it there. I'm like, are you just going to leave this here? I'm like, obviously it's empty. Like common sense. It's nothing that serious. Like you don't think. And then you wonder why people yell, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Yeah. And it's always like the dumbest little things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would always get so upset when people would I took responsibility for the walk-in in the past year where I was working, and I would always make it like really nice. And then somebody would come in, like I'd clean it in the morning, and then someone would come in for the evening shift and then grab all their stuff and just leave everything everywhere. And I'm like, did you not notice that this is fucking perfect? Like this is beautiful and clean, and we just cleaned the floors, and now there's like, you know, salsa on the floor. Like it just like, I don't know. I just wish people could be like a little bit more clean and caring. Yeah. But it's another reason why I like Little Moss, because it's pretty well kept. You know, I think the only thing that bothers me is like we have our table that we work on, and then like the upper part is a little hectic. Like there's a lot going on that little shelf. But it's kind of controlled chaos. Like now that I've been there for a little while, like everything's where it should be. Yeah. It just looks really busy.
Especially on the cold side. I can't look at it. Like it gives me so much anxiety because there's like quarts and quarts and quarts. Yeah. And like other stuff. And then Brandon's protein bars. And then it's like they're all mixed in. I'm like, obviously I don't want to do it because like I don't work that station, so I would hate somebody come on my side and just move my stuff around. But yeah, it's that. But everything, like I like my side. I like when I fill up all the plates. And it just looks like so nice.
Yeah,
like,
ready for service.
Ready, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon's funny with that. the granola bars everywhere, and then there's been like 2 cheese sticks sitting in the walk-in for like weeks. Like, and I just look at them and I'm like, if he doesn't eat those by the end of the week, I'm gonna eat them.
Right.
Like, I swear to God. But I mean, he's gonna be leaving soon, so when he's gone, hopefully he
leaves something behind.
Yeah, I'll eat those cheese sticks if he leaves them there, if they're still good.
Yeah.
But oh my God, he's funny. I think he'll do well with HVAC. I feel like that's more like up his alley. But he's a good cook.
Yeah.
Like, he could really be.
I just like he doesn't like cooking.
Yeah, it's such a shame though.
Yeah.
Like, I want him to like it. Like, I'm always like, oh, you could do this, and he's just like, eh.
Yeah, and like, you know more things than people your age right now. Like they probably want to cook, but you know more because from working at Little Malls, you learn so many things. Like, you have all those recipes, you know how to make every single thing in your book right now, and it's like salsa matcha or like the dukkha, and I'm like, you know, it's
or like
cool.
the green goddess. Like, that's a really really nice like emulsion. So, like, yeah, he has a lot of skills, but just doesn't have the interest, which is such a shame.
Yeah. I agree.
But I mean, I guess you can't force that on people.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, can't force people to be interested.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think he'll do good in HVAC. I'm sad to see him go, though. I feel like he's fun.
Yeah.
He's fun to have around, like part of the dynamic.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Danny doesn't leave too. Like, I like Danny. I like our little
we have a good group right now.
We do. It's a good group for sure. And even like, that's what I was gonna say. I was trying to remember what I was gonna say. But like you were saying, how Brandon knows like more than he probably understands that he knows. Sergio's in a great position because he's in culinary school, same culinary school that you went to as well. And then he's working as a dishwasher here at Little Moss, and I mean, he's like, this is definitely one of the better restaurants in this area. So he's working garde manger when he has time, and he's like learning, but he has the interest. So like, I'll pull like, and I know he has the interest, so he probably gets annoyed with me because I'll be like, Sergio, come here, let me show you this.
I'm not.
But it's because I like people to learn. Like, I love teaching, and I think that's my one, like, I'm not a big like talent guy. I don't think people really have talents, but I think that's my like innate thing that I kind of do naturally, is like teaching and showing, and that just kind of comes naturally. So I want to like share with, especially when people are interested. Like, if you're not interested, I always say to people,
it's a waste of your time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I always tell people, like, if you don't care, like, tell me to shut up. Like, it's fine. But if you are interested, I will literally tell you everything I know, because I just want him to succeed.
Yeah. I feel like that's how Brandon is when I'm trying to teach him something else on the mac and cheese that he makes on Fridays. But like obviously with cooking, it's easy because you just throw stuff in there and just like, it was a curry. So like, okay, it's easy. Just throw this, throw that. But he's like so into like, obviously because he doesn't have as much experience, he likes to have things written down and go by the T, you know, and just like have everything weighted out and all this stuff, which is cool, obviously. But like, I just feel like he didn't really care when I was trying to show him the curry, because like, I'm still gonna make the mac and cheese next week. So
yeah, it's like, that's cool, but I'm gonna make mac and cheese. So something else I wanted to ask about was like content creation. So I know that you make content. Yeah, you know, you're kind of famous a little bit. But what are some of the challenges with that, and like, how did you get started, and do you still enjoy doing it?
I do enjoy doing it. So I started with TikTok and doing random videos, and then I noticed when I made videos with some Greek material, the video will go more viral than others. Then I did a video. I was actually in Greece. That was my first big viral video. I was in Greece with my husband. Well, he was my boyfriend then. And I'm like, I want to make a video, because we use the word Ella. Ella, it means come here, but like we use it for other things. So I made a video uses of the Greek word Ella. So this went like 500,000 views or whatever. So this guy that's a big meme person on TikTok and Instagram. He makes like memes and all that stuff, and I always kind of look up to him because I follow his page for years on Facebook and stuff. He reached out to me. He's like, "Oh, can I post on my account?" I'm like, "Oh my God, he thinks I'm funny." Like, okay. So I'm like, "Yes, of course." So that was one. He posted on his story, and he tagged me, and then I started getting followers. I had like, I don't know, 600 followers at the time, but I wasn't posting anything on Instagram. and my account was private. So I'm started getting all this follow requests. I had like 70 follow requests. I'm like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. I'm like, I'm ready to be famous. Yeah, from one video, right? Then I made a video one time pretending to be my mom on FaceTime. And it didn't go viral, but he commented and he thought it was funny. So I'm like, okay. Because I kind of trust him because obviously he's a big influence. He has so many followers and very successful. I'm like, you know what, maybe I should start doing like Greek mom videos. So I started doing a couple. They were going really well. And one time he reached out to do a collab video. And I was so excited. Like the first time he did actually, I was like, I guess he said something like, I'll do a video with my mom and stuff like that. And my mom is like, oh, I'm not making a video. Like, what the heck? Like, you know, she was like shy at the beginning. So I never reached out. He reached out again and we started making a couple videos together, which I really enjoyed. I'm like, because I people found it funny. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll stick with the Greek mom character. Mm-hmm. So that's where it started pretty much. Then my brother was like, start posting on Instagram, because I was only posting on TikTok. So I started posting on Instagram and slowly I started building my like following and all that stuff. And I do enjoy it still, honestly. I think it's really fun. It's not something out of the ordinary because that's something like everything I say, it's things my mom say. So those things I've heard 1,000 times and it comes out natural to me. So I'm like, hey, it's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, you're just like being real.
Yeah. So now I just have to like there was a time actually a month before the wedding, I was so stressed out. So I stopped making videos. Like I just don't have time for that. So I kind of stopped. I took a little break. And then I started making again after we came back from our honeymoon. But yeah, I mean, I really like it. It's fun. I love to do that. It's like a side thing for me, and I love doing that on my days off. I just wish I was more consistent. Like I want to post. Like I know people sometimes like, okay, a new video every Wednesday or whatever. I wish I was more like that, or at least post once or twice a week. Sometimes it's hard with work and all that, and then you have the 2 days off. And I just want to, like, I don't want to really make a video right now. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. So I'm kind of trying to put myself first because I'm like, I don't want to force it because I know it's not going to come out well. Because it's not like just making a video. It's like I'm in it. So I feel like however I feel, it would show in the video. Mm-hmm. And it's just not worth it to me not making a good one. So.
Yeah. I kind of feel similar where it's like right now it's our day off. It's like I really wanted to just like sleep in today and like you know just kind of be a loser. But I also definitely want to do something entrepreneurial and do something to become like independently wealthy at some point.
Yeah.
And obviously this doesn't pay at all right now, but you know, in the future maybe it will, and it's fun. It's like a little side hustle, and I like doing it. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did because I had like a meme page before. I just like basically just repost things that I would see that I thought was funny, but always like inside I was like, this feels wrong because I'm not making the content, but I didn't know how to edit and I didn't really understand any of that world. Which I wish I kind of learned at the time because that was years ago. I mean, I was like 19 at the time. But now, like, I like creating content that is like actually good content. Like, you're not like reposting. Like, I feel like those people who just like clip other people's content and then like put it over gameplay. It's like, yeah, they're probably making like 30 grand a month doing that, which is like upsetting. But at the same time, it just feels morally wrong. Like, it's just like if you're going to post on the internet, like at least make your own content. But I do like it. I enjoy the content making process and it's fun. Like but it is hard with a full-time job.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is I wanted to originally do like a food truck and I still may in the future. I don't know. But like this you can do with a full-time job, like working 40 plus hours. It's like you can still wake up early and like edit a video or edit a clip or something. But it's definitely definitely a fun thing.
And I feel like social media after COVID, I think it blew up. Like I feel like everybody's a influencer now, or like that social media, which honestly, like I feel like if you focus on it, you can do that your full-time job. And I don't trust myself yet to do that, honestly. But I mean, I'll definitely. I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna do that full time, but I would like to do that mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying work so much right now that it's kind of like, even if this was generating enough money where we could like be living off of it, I'd probably still be working, because I feel like then I would be fake, because this whole podcast is about like people in the food industry, food and beverage industry. I'm a part of that industry, and I'm interested in people in that industry, and all these people that I'm starting this with are people that I've worked with. Yeah. So if I just like stop working and I'm just doing this, I will be out of touch. Like I won't actually be working the line every day, and I won't know what it's like to be a cook.
Exactly.
So I definitely am just going to keep working regardless. But that's just because I really like, especially where I'm at now, like maybe in the future, I don't know what will happen, but I'm definitely content right now. Like it's fun. I look forward to work, and then work is fun. And then also at work too, it's like we're doing so much cool stuff. Like we're making pasta. It's like there's just like little food clips I can get at work. I'm like, nice, I can post this on my story. Because it's hard to post every day.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
And it's good because, like you said, it's at work, so it's there. I feel like if you try to do this at home, it'll take you all day.
All day, yeah.
Because it's a home kitchen. But like all these people that do like food creation or food blogs and they cook out their house, I'm like, I don't think I could never do that. I'm like, that would be so much, like too much for me.
It's really difficult. Yeah. I've shot 2 cooking videos. One of them is like full-fledged, like I'm making a burrito, like beginning to end, like every single thing. Like we shot. It took like 3 or 4 hours to shoot it. And I started editing it, but I know I need to scrap it and start over, because I've learned so much about editing since I started. So I'm like, I need to just start over and like restructure this. And then I shot another one, the mussel one. I showed you and Danny like a couple clips from it. But I know that one's not going to do very well because it's just like pretty much one static angle the whole time, because I was filming that one by myself. But yeah, food, like I always thought that like food content creation, I was like, oh, that's easy. Like that's, but then you do it and you're like, okay, this is actually really time consuming and difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, maybe it's just the equipment that I was using, because like moving this tripod around all the time, moving the light around, like kind of makes it time consuming. And I know people have those little ones that they like stick up and stuff like that, but I don't have that yet. But yeah, no, it's definitely harder. I definitely gained respect for food content creators like immediately. I was like, okay, this is not easy money. Like this is genuinely hard.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah, and that with a full-time job too is like you take one of your days off and you cook basically all day, and then you have to edit it. It's like a whole day process to do that.
Editing it takes a long time, like a long time.
Too long. Yeah.
Like it took me one time an hour to edit, because like I had to like. Because sometimes I say things in Greek, so I want to put translations in English. So that also takes me a long time because I have to sit there and type everything. And my videos, I mean, I wouldn't say they're the best quality or stuff like that, because I just use my phone and my ring light. So it's nothing really crazy. But I feel like other creators where they actually have like like every video is like, it looks like a little movie type thing. You know, they spend a lot of time like editing this and creating it.
Yeah, there's a food guy on YouTube. I forget his name. It's like K Woo or something like that. I'm definitely getting that wrong, but his food videos are like, I think it's like Korean, like cooking, like pretty simple stuff he's making.
I think I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, but then his editing is like amazing. Like he kind of inspired me. I was like, I want to like have videos like this. But it's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
I would love to, like on this podcast, talk to food content creators like in the future. Like I don't know. I love binging with Babish. I used to watch him when he had like 30,000 subscribers, and now he's got like 10 million plus or something like that. But like his videos are so great. It's just like an interesting dude, and learn more about editing and like how to kind of do well at that. But
I feel like you should message those people who like whoever you're interested in. I feel like you should message, and then you never know.
Yeah,
they might get back to you.
I'm planning on doing a mass, like just start reaching out to people.
Yeah.
Like people that I watch and people that I'm interested in. But I wanted to get, I said 20, but this is the 9th one that I'm doing. So I wanted to get at least 10 like under my belt where I felt comfortable with the process and posting and figuring out the clips a little bit, because I didn't want to do one with somebody like, you know, really, really famous, or like somebody who could potentially like really help grow it or anything like that, when I didn't know how to edit the clips or anything like that, because the clips are really what does it. Like that's where you get people to. That's where the followers come from. Is because they see a clip, they're like, oh, what's this? They click it. They you know. But my first like 3 or 4 of these, like I just wasn't getting the format right. So I was getting like, 50 views or 200 views or something. Now I'm consistently getting over 1,000, and every once in a while like a couple thousand. So nothing like viral, but it's slowly like ramping up with just the quality and the time that I'm putting in. So I definitely want to get it to a place where I feel really good about the content. And then I'm going to start just reaching out to like chefs that I like. Like I really want to do one with Nick Curtola. He's the chef at the Four Horsemen in Brooklyn, which is probably my favorite restaurant in the world that I've been to. But again, he's got like, 20,000 or 30,000 followers. He's like a famous chef. So it's like, I want to make sure that it's worth it. Like, because I would be going to him. So it's like, I'm going to go to New York and do it in theory by his oven. That's this whole concept is to do it next to like other chefs' ovens. This is just easy because I have an oven. But yeah, long term, it's like, it's going to be like a time investment and also like traveling to other people. So I want to like, before I start doing that, like it has to be kind of dialed in. Like I want it to be worth it.
Yeah.
So I'm not like spending hundreds of dollars traveling or thousands of dollars traveling just to like get 200 views. I'm like, this isn't worth it. Like, but I also think that it will be worth it because as you do people who are like more high profile, like you said, like working with that guy, that's kind of like where you got started. And that is really the fastest way to grow, I think, is like collaborating. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's honestly, thanks to him, that's where his thing on Instagram is, excuse me, are you Greek? He also has actually a site with like all Greek shirts and like hats and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. But anyway, like it's really important, like collabs, because first of all, it boosts up your what's it called?
Engagement.
Yeah, and it's really nice, and it boosts up your confidence as well. It's like, okay, like he wants to do something with me, so that must mean I'm doing something good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool, but that's where it starts, because thanks to him, like the videos that we did, that's where I started building up my all my followers and all that. So it gives me confidence to like continue doing it and making more videos, like for Greek mom or like Greek content in general. So yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So I have a couple like ending questions that we can do. So what's your most cherished food memory? I feel like we kind of talked about Greece a little bit.
Yeah.
But so if it's the same thing, that's okay. But
okay, so my aunt, my grandma's sister, she was the best cook, and she's kind of the reason I kind of want to make like a bakery and stuff like that. She used to make those it was like pickled eggplants. So she would make it in the winter. No, she would make it like at the end of the summer to have it for the winter, because like it preserves, so it lasts a long time. So I think that's something. I know it's not like a main food, so it's like a pickled eggplant stuffed with cabbage and like carrots and all that. So that is something that I haven't had this in so long. That's like if I eat anything pickled that is very close to the flavor, it just brings me back to like eating it like when I was with her and all that. But that's the thing, it's like it's hard for me to pick one thing, because everything, like I think that's why I like cooking, is because I feel so nostalgic of my childhood, because I had such a great childhood, and that's how like every food, everything I eat that reminds me of a childhood becomes favorite to me at that point. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, like the nostalgia kind of has like a strong
Yes,
effect.
Exactly. So I would say the pickled eggplant is like one dish that,
really brings you back.
Yeah, brings me back. Yeah.
Nice. And then why do you cook?
Why do I cook? Again, it's because obviously I love eating, and I love that it brings me back to when I was learning to cook with my aunt or my grandma or my mom. Like it just reminds me of like being in the kitchen with them and doing every little thing, and that's the main reason I like cooking, because it just brings me back. Like every time I'm in the kitchen, like it reminds me of when I was in the kitchen with them. So yeah, it just brings me back to the good times.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to, I mean, I don't have a lot of followers, but do you want to plug your Instagram or anything before you wrap up?
That's okay.
No?
That's okay.
All right. Well, Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
just tag me. And,
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course.
That was cool.